Hey everyone, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD, coming to you live today, Facebook Live, my Magical Monday broadcast. And I'm so happy you could join me. And please share this if you feel it's helpful to you. Please share it with others. As you know, I like to do this on Mondays at high noon because Monday is the day of the week that we get started. We all feel a little bit unbalanced and we want to get the week off on the right footing, and that's what I do to help remind myself to do that. In case you don't know, I have a free ebook out now called Fake News Stories by Your Brain, my brain too. You can get that. A lot of people ask me where to get it. Well, on my website, charlesglassmanmd.com, charlesglassmanmd.com, you'll see there's a way to get that book. And again, thanks for joining me on this Magical Monday broadcast. And why do I call it Magical Monday? Because I like to look at these daily coincidences that we all have, and which I call daily magic. And these broadcasts, I am hoping, help you to notice those daily coincidences, those daily magic, because what they do for me is help reaffirm my faith in something larger than myself. It's humbling for me, but it also reassures me that we all have the ability to make things happen in our lives if we just trust that there is something greater than ourselves in control, but directly connected to us as well. This week, what it really made me think about that is I was listening to a YouTube broadcast called the 2-hour history of the world, or the history of the world in 2 hours. And it has to start somewhere. And where does it start in this history? And it was very interesting. I learned a lot. But it starts with the Big Bang. And the narrator talks about how all the energy, everything that's in our universe right now, today, started in this thing that was, we can't even imagine how small it was, and then it burst. It was a Big Bang. Well, that tells that the question that I ask is, okay, well, where did that? Okay, let's say the Big Bang happened. Let's say that's fact. I'm not saying it is. Let's say it is fact. But something had to happen. I mean, there had to be something before that. And where's it going? Where does it go to? And that kind of got me thinking years and years ago when I was quite young. The idea of infinity, it seemed just so large. So that actually reaffirmed my belief that there's something greater that we can't conceive, that we really can't perceive or conceive. We do perceive it in our daily lives through the daily magic that I call it. And to me, that's God. I'm not saying that you have to believe the same way I believe or to the same God I believe in. But to me, that's the greater picture here. There's something greater. And those daily coincidences, that daily magic that happens that we notice, that we just can't explain if we try to run the numbers, the probability of two things coinciding at exactly the same time, the odds are greater than winning the lottery, yet they do come together and with that synergy. So it's important to look at that. And these kind of coincidences are so great, and they're so abundant. And what does this Big Bang, though, have to do with our lives today? I want you to think about something right now. I want you to take a deep breath and let it go. And I want you to think right now, what is happening in the depths of our ocean right now, right at this very second, right at this moment, the depths of the oceans? What's happening? And then what's happening in the expanses of the universe right now, of outer space? What's happening right now at this second? In fact, our perception, we may see a star that light's coming to us. That was hundreds of years ago that we're actually now getting it. So what is happening at this very moment? What's happening at this very moment inside our body? Or those who we love, what's happening in their lives? What are they doing? We can't possibly know or appreciate or process the events, the enormous nature of the events and the nuances of those events that are happening right now. We think our world right now, I think my world is this camera. Meanwhile, I'm reaching you in your homes, in your cars, in the parks, wherever, and you're having feelings and sensations right now, which is actually pretty magical, I would say. So I like to start the week off by trying to notice those things, and don't get too obsessive over it, but just realize that when we take some action, we put the wheels in motion, we take those steps, we are bound to create differences in our environments, in our situations, in our interactions with people that are inevitably going to cause other reactions. And those can lead us to a journey that is quite exciting. Or if we take certain steps and we believe certain negative thoughts, if we believe certain negative drives or negative sensations that we have, it can lead us down an entirely different journey when we believe, trust, and take direction from those, rather than believing, trusting, and taking direction from truly the magic in our lives right now. So it might not be our life experience right this second, but it's happening in our world, the depths of our oceans, the expanses of the universe, what's happening outside of Saturn or Jupiter, or outside of the Andromeda strain or whatever in the galaxies right at this very second. So there's a lot going on. And if you break it down to our individual lives, those things can change in a split second. And I recall when I was finishing up my residency, I really didn't know what I was going to do. So I signed up for a pulmonary fellowship. And if anybody knows medicine, pulmonary is the lung. You specialize in the lung. You learn how to prescribe certain sprays to make the bronchial tubes get bigger, expand when you're short of breath. I mean, there's a lot of different things that, obviously the lungs are vital. We exchange oxygen. Okay, it's good, but quite honestly, it's not who I am. I'm not so targeted to that one spot. I have a holistic approach where I focus on the balance of mind, body, and spirit. And that is a truly holistic approach. If I became a pulmonary doctor, I don't know what would have happened. There were other things. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, so it was just go for more learning, go for more education. Well, as I made that decision, about a week or two later, a phone call came in to the chief resident who I was in a residency program, and the person who was calling was a doctor who was looking for someone to take over their practice for a couple weeks while that doctor went on vacation. Well, that chief resident thought of me. Now, why did he think of me? Why did he pick me? Okay? Was I the smartest resident? Well, I think I was pretty bright, but I wasn't the smartest. Was I the hardest worker? Well, arguably, I probably was. Did I have a good attitude? Did I get along with others? Yeah, I think I had all that checked off. That's probably why he thought of me. And that phone call literally changed my direction in life. It took me to becoming a specialized doctor in a fellowship program and very clinical and to a general practice in a general community where I ended up raising my family and having that part of my life that has been part of my life for the last 30 years. And that changed in a minute with a phone call. And it changed, though, because I did the work. I worked hard. I did the best with all the tools that I've been given, the gifts and the talents. I did my best with those. And it changed in almost a heartbeat. And that's because I put the action in. And I believed, I took direction, and I listened and trusted in something greater than myself that has that possibility to make things happen. And that was a major daily magic. Now, smaller daily magics might be hearing from a long-lost friend when you were just thinking of them or whatever. It doesn't change your life, but it reaffirms that certain synergy is happening. Serendipity and magic, daily magic. As Einstein say that, coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous. That sort of thing. But this week, if you're dedicated to do whatever you're doing, to do the best at it, just be on the lookout that things can change for you in a heartbeat. Because right now, right as we're speaking, there are so many things going on in our universe, in the macrocosm of our universe and the microcosm inside our bodies. I just finished a book called The Molecules of Emotion, a very important book, which a very well-renowned scientist who talks about how our thoughts change the dynamic of the actual molecules in our body. And so it's almost putting together this science with what we all talk about and love and know how our thoughts can control our attitudes and control our motivation and how it can keep us moving forward. So for this week, I want you to focus on doing the best you possibly can and knowing that there's something much greater than ourselves, whatever you want to call it. You must understand that that is in process. And if you doubt it, think about what could have happened before we got here and what is happening now at the outer portions of the universe, the depths of our ocean, in the microscopic environment of our bodies. Just so you know, we have more microorganisms in our body than we do actual cells. So there's stuff going on that we just don't know about. And be ready to recognize, appreciate, and be grateful for all of those things. Because we're here for a reason and you're here for a purpose. And your purpose has a lot to do with your given talents, skills, and abilities. So when you work in alliance with those and are appreciative for those, your life can change on a dime for the better when you believe, trust, and take direction from those rather than those thoughts and those actions that are telling you otherwise. And definitely my book, my free ebook, again, free, no strings attached, Fake News Stories by Your Brain, will help you along the way. And you can go on my website to get that. As I mentioned at the beginning, you'll see actually a shout out to Lynn, who's helping me from New Brunswick during this broadcast. And as always, I mean to thank you. And she will give you the link for that. So anyway, I love that you can take the time, that you've taken the time. If anything that I've said you found that is useful for you and that you feel might be helpful for somebody else who you know and love, please share my videos with them. I love to hear back from you and get your feedback. Let me know where you're from, anything that I've said that's resonated with you, any ideas that you have to expound upon what I've said. I know that will help other people. So until next time, I'm Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD, signing off. I love you, and God bless you. Have a great week. Bye for now.